did an example of drawing this Zentangle pattern, and in the examples on the pattern instructions there is shading and colouring with black ink. However, I like to use pencils, and I use colour pencils. So I'm going to shade the pattern with purples. Now I've got a pale purple, I have a darker purple, and to go quite dark with the shading I'm going to use brown. I enjoy doing highlighting and shading for Zentangle. It changes it and makes it more interesting. The first piece I'm going to start with is this section. And I'm going to work from the corners and colour in until about a quarter towards the middle, but I'm going to leave a white section in the middle. So I'm working from the edges, using light pressure with my pencil. And you will adapt this with your positioning, because as it goes towards the end it gets narrower. Move my paper. I always move my paper when I'm doing colouring to make sure it's easier on my hands. Right, now I'm moving from this section towards the middle again, but again I'm going to be leaving a white section here and not fully covering with my lightest colour of purple. Probably quite difficult to see, but there is a white stripe left in the middle. And that's the first layer with my light colour. Now I'm going to come in with me darker purple, and I'm going to start from the edges again, but I'm not going to cover all of the paler purple. I'm only going to cover half of that. So you're not covering all of the paler layer you put down first, just approximately half of that, or even a quarter. Again, you will have to adapt as you go towards the point of this pattern. Then I use my darker colour, which was the dark brown, to darken the edges. So this colour is just going to be on your edging. And every layer I use light pressure with the pencil. That's so I can put more layers on. That's the first 3 layers. Now I put down the first 3 layers, and the last one was the darker brown. So now I'm going to go in the opposite direction. I'm going to do another layer with me darker purple. You cover the brown, but you don't go over the paler purple. Just where your first layer of darker purple was. quite a relaxing activity to colour in Zentangle. In some ways I find it more relaxing than doing other designs. I don't have to think necessarily about light source. I tend to use the above light source method. And then I go back to my paler purple, and I'll go over where the original first layer was. Sometimes it's difficult to see because it's very pale, but you can work it out. You cover right to the edge, but not in the middle. If you feel that your stripe in the middle is too wide, then just move in with your across more with your light coloured pencil and adapt it as you go along, because this stripe here is the highlight. Now you will continue with those colours, those layers, until you're happy with the depth of that section. How many layers you put on here for your final effect is up to you, it's your choice. I used 4 layers of each colour I had, which 4 of the light, 4 of the darker purple and 4 of the brown. And that look gives you a nice deep colour and that lovely highlight in the middle, and that gives it a rounded effect. It's a bit of an illusion, but it is give you a really nice effect. Now the other sections, I'm going to use the same pencils, and I'm going to use the same technique for this section here. It's just wider, but it works quite well, and I'm going to make my highlight in the same place I did for the main V shape. So again, with your lighter colour, it's a bit easier at this point because you've already done part of it. You can see where your stripe of highlight is going to be. Lighter colour coming on from the edges with the dark purple. Now these are just the colours I chose to use. You can use any colour at all as long as you have a darker, a medium and a lighter colour. Now I'll continue and finish that off. Now that that section is done, it gives you a nice 3D effect. So there's just the top part here to finish off. Now if you wish, you could continue with your original colours, or you could do a nice contrasting colour, and I've decided on contrasting colour. I decided to use oranges, dark red and dark yellow for this top section. For this top section, I want to do a gradient effect, and I have posted up a video on how to do gradients. So I'm starting from this edge and I'm going over with my lightest colour. And I'll be going over both sections because it's going to be the same effect on both. Again with light pressure so you can add on more layers. Medium shade that I've chosen, which is a pale orange. Going from the edge but not all the way to the tip, so this is your start of your gradients. I tend to use the other side as a guide to how far to go, so it looks more balanced. And then the darkest colour I've chosen, which is a dark orangey red, just the edges. So at each stage you don't colour all of the previous layer. You build this up, you go back to your lightest colour, and of course the lightest colour goes from the edge right to the tip, so you cover all of the previous layers. Pencils reflect the colour underneath, so it will make this yellow darker as it covers up the other previous darker layers. Back to my medium colour, and I tend to look to where it was before and I go backwards so that I don't go too far over. There you go. Those little things I found most helpful for me. And I'm doing gradients. Then back with your darkest colour, near the edges only. And I've completed that pattern shading now, and for this section I used 4 layers of each colour to make it deeper. And that's a nice interesting effect, and if you can imagine doing a few of those patterns in a project, as it shows you here, an example in the instructions, then it's going to be quite striking. So I hope viewers have enjoyed watching an example of colouring in Zentangle art.